Welcome to the Learn English Podcast Daily. My name is Claire.
My name is James. By listening to this, you may learn English in a very simple way.
Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon. Okay, let's deep into the topic.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are taking an essential deep dive into something pretty cool. It's a technology that's really shaking up how we think about photos. We're talking about, the complete transformation of image editing, moving away from that complex desktop software, all those confusing layers, and spending hours tweaking sliders.
Right. It's a whole new ballgame.
Our mission today is basically to help you master Gemini AI photo editing. And the key, using just natural language prompts, plain English.
Yeah, think of it as the ultimate creative shortcut, where your imagination just speaks directly to the machine.
Exactly.
And that's really what this deep dive is for you listening. We're not just aiming for like the basic stuff, fixing red eye or whatever. Our goal is mastery, to give you those actionable strategies, the specific language you actually need to unlock the full potential of Google's AI tools. We've basically pulled out the, let's call them master prompts from our research that can rescue flawed photos and honestly get some stunning creative results almost instantly.
Yeah, we've synthesized a pretty comprehensive guide. It's full of specific examples, techniques for transformation, fixing flaws, basically turning language into visual magic.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is Gemini AI photo editing?
Okay, so at its core, it's embedding generative AI capabilities right into the Google Gemini app, which means you can manipulate images, add things, remove things, change elements just by typing or, speaking a command. It's kind of like having a professional photo editor on your phone, ready to go 24/7.
But I keep seeing this term in the sources. Multimodal understanding. That sounds pretty technical. For you listening, what does that actually mean when you're just trying to fix a picture?
Yeah, it sounds complex, but it's the crucial difference. See, traditional tools, they only understood pixels. You had to manually select areas, tell it exactly what to touch. Gemini, though, it comprehends the content and the context. It understands the subject, the objects, the lighting, the background, even your artistic intent to some degree. It sees a park bench, not just like a bunch of colored dots. Okay, right. And that deeper understanding, that leads to some pretty phenomenal capabilities, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if I have that dreaded photobomber in the perfect shot, how does this new AI handle removing them compared to the old tool?
Yeah, that's its first core capability, context-aware object removal. Because the AI understands the scene, if you ask it to erase that photobomber, or maybe an ugly power line, it doesn't just leave a weird blank spot. It intelligently generates a believable extension of what's already there, the background, to fill that space seamlessly.
Seamlessly. Okay. And what about that constant headache aspect ratios? You take a great vertical photo, but it looks awful as desktop wallpaper.
That brings us to the second big one. Generative expand. So if you need that vertical photo changed to, say, a 16.9 landscape, Gemini will actually create a believable extension of the scene. It generates context like more sky or more water where there was nothing before. It figures it out.
Wow. Okay, capability number 3 is all about style. This is where the creativity really kicks in, isn't it?
Absolutely. Style transformation. This means you can take a standard digital photo and just ask it to become, well, a specific artistic medium, like a watercolor painting, or maybe a gritty vintage film look, or even a specific style like cyberpunk or impressionism, you name it.
And finally, the really essential one, fixing those common quality issues, the blurry shots, the dark photos.
Yep. Lighting and quality enhancement. Fixing underexposed shots, reducing blur, just by asking. And, reports we've seen confirm Google is pushing these tools out pretty aggressively to mobile users. It's making high-level editing incredibly accessible. That's a huge shift.
So if you want to start using this new Creative Studio, you access it through the Gemini mobile app, right? Android and iOS.
That's the main way, yeah. On Android, it often replaces the Google Assistant you might be used to. Long press the home button or swipe up.
Okay.
And if you happen to be paying for the Google One AI Premium plan, you'll find a lot of these generative features built right into Google Photos too, which is handy for applying them to your whole library.
Right. Now, before we jump into the killer prompts, let's talk about the golden rule. Because I've seen people get frustrated. They ask the AI to just make the photo better, and, well, it doesn't always work. Why is clarity king here?
because the AI is powerful, sure, but it's fundamentally based on language. It doesn't know your taste. It doesn't know what better means to you. If you just say, make it better, it has to guess. But if you say, sharpen the subject's eyes and increase the contrast by 15%, well, then it executes. Precision really dictates the results.
Okay, precision. Let's put that to the test then. Section 2, the essential fix-its. Rescuing those good photos from annoying little flaws. And we need to start with the structure, right? Understanding constraints.
Exactly. We need to move beyond just simple commands like remove this. An effective master prompt usually includes, let's say, 3 parts. The action, the specific subject or area, and then the desired outcome or maybe a constraint.
Okay, let's take a classic example. That dreaded trash can ruining a beautiful park bench shot. My first instinct would be to just say, remove the trash can. Why isn't that quite enough?
Well, that's where older tools would often struggle. They'd likely leave a kind of patchy blur or something obviously edited. The master prompt gives the AI clearer instructions on how to fill that space it creates.
Okay, so here's the killer command we found for the flawless eraser. Remove the trash can from the park bench and fill the area with more of the grassy background and bushes to look natural.
See, notice how it specifies how to blend it back in, more of the grassy background, bushes, and crucially, to look natural. That's the difference between a clumsy edit and something that looks, well, professional, seamless.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, next example. Let's be honest, every vacation album has that photo. Stunning vista behind you, but you look like a shadow puppet because of the backlighting.
Yeah.
That's example 2, the portrait lighting savior.
And this one needs real precision because you don't want to mess up that beautiful sunset in the background while you're fixing the face, right? So here's how you frame that kind of complex request. The subject's face is too dark. Brighten it with a soft, natural light. Reduce the harsh shadows under the eyes, but keep the background lighting unchanged.
That constraint again. Keep the background lighting unchanged. That seems vital. It applies a fix just where you need it, without making the whole image look flat or artificial.
Precisely. It maintains the overall scene integrity. And for those moments when maybe the phone didn't quite nail the focus, say on a pet, example 3, the detail sharpener shows the power of adding a negative constraint, you might ask. Sharpen the image to enhance the details in the fur and the eyes, making it look clearer without making it look grainy.
That last part. Without making it look grainy. That's the secret sauce, isn't it? You're telling the AI, okay, do the thing I want, but please avoid this common pitfall.
Exactly. You're guiding it away from potential problems.
Okay, fantastic. Let's shift gears now from fixing reality to, well, creating an entirely new one. Section 3 is about creative transformations and advanced practical magic. This sounds like where the real fun begins.
Oh yeah. You can completely change the mood, the atmosphere, maybe even the time of day, often with just one request. Take a normal daytime beach photo. You can turn it into the time traveler shot. You do this by layering elements in your prompt. Define the sky color, ask for reflections, maybe insert new objects that fit the mood.
Right. For instance, convert this scene into a dramatic sunset with warm orange and pink clouds. Add reflections on the water and insert a few silhouetted birds flying in the distance. It's like giving it a technical shopping list for an artistic scene.
Exactly. And because the AI has been trained on so much data, you can actually reference the entire history of art and photography. The Artistic Muse prompt lets you do that. You could ask for a cityscape to be reimagined as, say, a classic analog film photograph from the 1980s. You can even tell it specifically, add film grains, slightly desaturate the colors, and boost the contrast to get that authentic nostalgic feel.
That's incredible. My personal favorite, though, and the one that I think really shows off the AI's technical sophistication, is the background revolution. Say you have a portrait, but you're against a boring office wall. You want something grander.
This is where you see some true AI mastery starting to emerge. You ask it, replace the plain wall behind me in this portrait with a grand, modern library with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. Simple enough request.
The critical part, the command that elevates this from looking like a crude cutout to a professional image, is that constraint. Ensure the lighting on me matches the new ambient light of the library.
Yes, that detail is huge. Highlighting the need for lighting matching is what makes it seamless. The AI doesn't just paste a new background in. It actually re-renders the light hitting you, the subject, so you look like you were actually standing there. You used to need hours in Photoshop meticulously masking light layers to get that kind of effect. Now it's a sentence.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to more practical applications again. Can you combine multiple steps, like fixing and stylizing?
Absolutely. That's what the Social Media Pro prompt is about. You can combine a functional edit with creative tasks. For instance, I need this vertical photo to be a 16.9 landscape for a YouTube thumbnail. Intelligently expand the canvas on both sides. That's the function. And then you add, also stylize the colors to be more vibrant and add the text summer vibes in a bold white font at the bottom. All in one go.
Very efficient. And what about those precious but maybe low-resolution memories, those old scanned photos of family? Can it help there?
Yes, and this is a delicate one. The Resolution Wizard, it's about restoration. You can upload that cherished, maybe slightly blurry, pixelated photo and ask the AI. Upscale this old, low-resolution scanned photo, reduce noise and pixelation, enhance the facial details gently, and restore the faded colors to be more natural. The key words there are gently and natural. For restoration, you don't want it to look artificially sharp or overly saturated. You want to preserve the authenticity while just cleaning it up, removing the damage of time.
Gently and naturally. Good tip. Okay, we've covered a lot of specific prompts. But the ultimate goal, I guess, is for you listening to stop just copying our list and start creating your own master prompts. How do we make that leap from mimicry to really mastering AI communication?
Yeah, that's the goal. It really comes down to maybe 4 key principles for collaborating effectively with the AI. First, as we've said, be specific and detailed. Don't just say, fix the colors, be precise. Increase the saturation of the green foliage, enhance the blue of the sky by about 10%, and add a slight vignette effect to draw focus to the center. Much better.
Okay, specificity. What's next?
Second, use evocative language. Remember, the AI is trained on vast amounts of descriptive text, including literature and art criticism. So use words like dramatic, serene, ethereal, moody, or cinematic. Guide its emotional interpretation of the scene you want.
Tap into its artistic side.
Okay.
Okay, number 3.
Third, reference art and culture. Don't be afraid to leverage its training data. Use phrases like, in the style of Ansel Adams' a high-contrast black and white photography, or make it look like a frame from a Studio Ghibli film. It often understands these references surprisingly well.
That's a great shortcut. And the last principle.
Fourth, and this is important, iterate and refine. Treat it like a conversation, a collaboration. If the first result is close, but not quite perfect, don't just start over from scratch. Use a follow-up command, something like, that's great, now could you make the reflections on the water even sharper? Or soften the edges of the foreground trees a little. Build on what it gave you.
Like tweaking with a very articulate assistant. Okay. Looking ahead now, where's this technology going? The sources suggest it's moving fast.
Oh, incredibly fast. The indications are we're rapidly moving towards things like real-time video editing, using these same conversational prompts, and even potentially generating complete 3D models based just on these 2D images and descriptions. The possibilities are expanding quickly.
Wow. Okay, with this kind of immense creative power, though,
Okay.
comes responsibility, right? The sources, especially academic ones, constantly bring up the ethical side.
Absolutely crucial. The primary goal, really, must be to enhance creativity, not to mislead or deceive. So it's incredibly important to always disclose when an image has been significantly altered by AI, especially if you're using it in news or documentation or any kind of informational context. The tools are easy to use now, so transparency is absolutely key.
Right. Transparency. So to sort of wrap up this deep dive, the era of conversational AI photo editing, it's not coming. It's here right now. It really democratizes high-level creative expression because it essentially removes those technical barriers. You don't need to know about masking or curves or layers anywhere. You just need to know how to talk to your computer, how to articulate your vision.
Exactly. The specific prompts and the strategies we've talked about today, think of them as your foundation for starting that conversation. The technical hurdles are falling away fast, which really means the main limit left to your photography, to your visual creativity, is truly just your imagination. So go ahead, start that dialogue with your own personal creative studio, see what you can make.
And maybe here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on as you explore this. If generative AI can now so seamlessly match lighting, match the environment, insert objects, replace backgrounds, making the result often indistinguishable from reality, what does that actually mean for the verifiability of any photo going forward? And how will we, as an audience, as consumers of images, reliably distinguish the art, the creation, from the documentation, the record of reality? Something to think about as you take the reins of your new AI-powered creative tools.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. Let's meet soon with a new interesting topic. Have a nice day.